So it is
There we go.
episode 3, and it is hotter than the hinges of Hades down here in Texas right now. Okay. It is 8 o'clock in the evening, and it has gone down to 95.
Ouch.
Yeah, so this is what the next 10-day forecast looks like. Okay, so I know we have listeners, so I'm showing this on YouTube on the screen, right? But what do we have here? Go ahead and read this, Jered.
Oh, I see hotter than hell, hotter than hell, hotter than hell. It's 102, 104, 104, 101, 102. Jeez.
Yeah, those are the temperatures for the next, that's what it's been for the last 2 weeks, and that's what it's going to be for the next week and a half. So
just so we can compare, let's see. That way.
Oh, look how pleasant that is.
Oh,
83,
yeah.
85, 84. Oh, come on. You're killing me.
Major selling point of the inland Northwest.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we have had a whopping 2 or 3 days above 90 degrees so far this year. Being a Bay Area transplant, when people bitch and complain about how hot it is up here, I go, you have no fucking clue. You have no clue. 85, I will take 85 all day long. 90, piece of cake.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah, that's what 85 is what it is here in the morning.
Yeah, right.
So, hey, a couple of show notes here. Since episode 2, we've had some milestones. We did pass 100 subscribers.
Hey.
So give ourselves a little hand. Okay. Our last episode did get over 1,000 views, 1K. We did hit the 1K mark. But the most impressive thing, we actually have acquired 4 human female subscribers. Okay. So
which one?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So, Kristen, Stephen, Jillian Reese, Joanne Felser, and Mila Daracheva, thank you.
We'll try not to lose you in the episode 3.
Mila actually has a woodworking channel called Geometry Build, and she's got such a cute accent. She's from the Ukraine, and I've actually kind of spoken to her about her family's situation over there, and it's interesting. She's an interesting person to talk to, and her videos are good too. So yeah, definitely check out Geometry Build.
Very cool.
And I just do want to mention too, we are getting more plays on the audio platforms, and what would help us, and I'm not going to harp on this, I'm just going to ask one time. If you're on Apple or Spotify, give us a rate and a review. Rating and reviewing is kind of important. That's how they enhance discoverability and so forth. So if you do listen on an audio platform and you like the show, give it a 5-star or a 4-star or a 1-star. I don't care.
Yeah,
hey,
give the hell any rating, right?
Right. And give it a review. So that would be great. All right.
Cool.
Hey, man, I noticed you got some shirts back there. What's going on?
Again, for our listeners, you can't see it, but it has our logo.
Show me the other one in the back.
One
of them says Cranky. If you're listening to this on audio, okay, you got to jump over to YouTube to check this out.
There you go, right? So my wife is like a master of the Cricut, right? The little vinyl paper cutting machine. She's got like a damn near assembly line in our basement. She's got 4 or 5 of them. So when I get a crazy idea and I go, hey, I want to make a shirt or whatever, she's like, okay, that'll take 5 minutes. So I made one for myself. It just says Cranky Woodworker on there because, whatever. I can wear it in public and nobody will know who the hell the new Cranky Workshop is, but they'll know what a Cranky Woodworker is. And then my wife made one, and she just did the same design, and she just put Lil up there. So now my daughter's got one. She's a little Cranky Woodworker.
Yay. Awesome.
But yeah, awesome. I went ahead and I actually made one with the whole logo on it. So it does have the new Cranky Workshop on it. Yeah. So I don't know. I saw the other day. That we hit 500 views on episode 2, and I was like, hey, that's pretty rad. And then, I didn't really pay attention to it after that, but apparently we're well over 1,000 or whatnot. So, hey, cool. So what I decided that we were going to do was I was just going to make some shirts. So if you are even remotely interested, send me a DM over on Instagram or an email through YouTube or wherever my email is posted. It's all over the damn place. Inlandwoodandresin at Gmail. And, you know, if you're interested in one of these, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to sell them for $20. Nice round number. No tax, no shipping, just $20.
Where's
And
my wallet?
right, and I will mail them to wherever they need to go. And if there's $3 left over, then there's $3 left over. And I made it a personal mission this year with my YouTube channel to make a donation to a local Spokane organization. It's called Scraps. It's Spokane County Animal Scraps. Shit, now I'm
Animal rescue animal something.
Yes, and protection services. There it is.
Right.
Damn
okay.
it. But yeah, it's a no-kill animal shelter. You know, they try to get animals good homes, things like that. I'm a softie for four-legged furry friends. Don't matter if it's a cat or a dog.
Me too.
So I just made a pledge that anything that my channel would earn, and this was well before we had started this thing, you know, that I was just going to make a donation there. So if people are interested and they want to show off that they're cranky woodworkers as well and support not only what we're doing, but a good cause with a animal shelter, then shoot me a DM, send me an email, give me all your details and whatnot, and we'll put these things together for you.
Love it. All right. So, hey, you know something? I was thinking about this the other day. In fact, I'm going to pull this up on my phone if I can. You know, people ask sometimes, how do you know when your YouTube efforts are paying off? How do you know when your channel is getting traction, when you're getting noticed? And is it the number of subscribers? And the answer is no. It's not the number of subscribers. It's not the number of views. It's not even the amount of revenue. Watch time, click-through rates, none of that. What it actually is when people start leaving you hate comments.
That's when the fun begins.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. So I posted 3 weeks ago, I posted a miter saw video. And I mean, a few people liked it. It's got a bit over 85,000 views right now. So I got this comment. Miles Hennis, for some reason, found it necessary to ask this question of me. Why do YouTubers do a bunch of stupid shit in their videos? And of course, my response was, I would be happy to refund your money, sir. So
dumbass question warrants a dumbass response.
Correct. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Okay.
Yeah.
So then at Fred Hammer 6413. So you know you're swinging it on YouTube when you've got 4 numbers at the end of your moniker.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So at Fred Hammer 6413, I lasted about 2 minutes before the douchey overacting made me feel very embarrassed for you. You should really let a few people preview your videos before they go on the internet.
I could tell you right there is a whole can of worms that fool has opened up by just putting 2 minutes into the comment here.
Someone responded, I heard your wife wishes you would last 2 minutes.
There it is. You know, it's like
I love these. I love these hate comments. I love them.
I love funny. The ones where they feel like so empowered to tell you that they are going to unsubscribe. Like whatever you have done in your video or in a response to a comment, that warrants me unsubscribing. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
It is not an airport. You don't need to announce your departure.
Yes.
Well, first of all, it raises a couple of questions. It's clear that he hasn't watched any of my videos because douchey overacting is kind of my jam.
That's your shtick, man. And you do it so well.
Yeah, it is my thing, as they say. But the bigger question is, what compels these people? Is this meant as constructive criticism? What is the idea, right? So what compels these people to think, well, you know, hey, this video has got several thousand views. I really feel the need to do a public service and tell everybody that this is just bad.
And what I think really gets people off is because you and I are still relatively small channels, right?
Sure,
You
sure,
know,
sure.
you've got the big mo right now and have seen a pretty significant bump in subs and view counts over the last couple of videos that you've put out. And I
Right,
think what happens is your video, obviously, to get 50,000, 100,000 views in our case, is it has to show up on these other channels in the recommendation side, and
right,
people go, "Oh, that's an interesting thumbnail or title of the video, whatever piques their interest," and they click on it. So they don't know who we are. They
right.
don't. They haven't been there for however long we've been here, and they come across it and they go like, for in the case of your videos, first of all, I absolutely love them. I love this because there's a nuanced satire behind your videos that I think most people do not get.
I know.
But they look at it and they go like, who's this schmuck just coming out of nowhere, and he's got 50,000 views or 75,000 views, and you know, you're not the Wood Whisperer, or you're not Stumpy Nubs, or you're not like, no shit,
Right,
I'm not who that person is. Like, yeah, but and if you don't like the tone and you watched, just click away, just like everybody told me that I should have done when I unsubbed half of the channels that I was subbed to at the beginning of the year. Oh, just click
right.
away. Yeah, whatever. It's just,
Yeah, it is.
that's what
Sorry, I
I
had to go
did.
grab. Sorry, everybody had to go grab my. Oh God, it is
Oh, I know.
no
It's,
AC, no AC in this garage, man.
oh,
So,
you don't have one of those free Mr. Cools that
no,
everybody on YouTube seems to get?
no, I'm not at that point yet. I'm just being
Mm.
offered the Chinese laser
Ah,
cutters and right and Vivor. Yeah, that's
pocket hole
all I'm getting.
jigs. Yeah,
Yeah,
pocket hole jigs.
tools from India, right? So that's all I've been offered so far. So anyway,
Hey, if
uh,
Banggood reaches out to me and starts wanting to send me a whole bunch of crap, I'll take it. Whatever.
yeah, you know, one crazy thing I've noticed about especially the woodworking niche on YouTube, and I'm sure that this applies to other niches as well. Topics tend to come in clumps, right? I think one person maybe does like a successful video on a topic, and then there's a kind of a lot of copycats, right? Or the algorithm is proving that, hey, there's interest in this. A couple of years ago it was miter saw stands.
Mm-hmm.
Last year it was track saws.
Mm-hmm.
This seems to be like it's the summer of wood finishes. I know that there are a couple of really big channels that are planning wood finish tests and wood finish comparisons. I know that the Wood Whisperer has talked about that he's working on one right now, and they take time
Mm-hmm.
because obviously you have to wait for curing and so forth and all that, right? But and I know I've noticed you've put up a couple of wood finish videos. You did a really interesting one about the nanographene coatings,
Oh,
and
yeah.
yeah, and you just put and the one that you did today of the Rubio exterior finish that I didn't even realize existed. So
A lot
that
of,
was cool.
yeah. So, as far as like the test videos are concerned, I honestly could not give a shit. I just do not care about the outcomes of these videos. I think the whole idea of testing these wood finishes with non real world tests does not make sense to me, because
Hmm.
if you watch these videos, what spoiler alert, this is what they're all going to do. They're going to take a block of wood, they're going to finish it with a particular finish, and then they are going to section it out into however many sections and subject it to a moisture test. And it'll probably be water, and then you'll have some sort of alcohol, and then you'll have some sort of gimmicky sauce, and then you will have like a raw piece of meat, and then they will like abrasion test it. Those are kind of
Right.
usually like the big five. I do not know anybody that has a nice piece of furniture and purposely scratches it with a key. I do not know anybody who has a nice piece of furniture who, when something is spilled, does not automatically wipe it up. Like,
Hmm.
hey, wait. I need to see how well this finish is going to hold up. So let's get the stopwatch and let's let it soak in for a few minutes and then wipe it. You don't
Sure.
do that, right? Those kind of incidents, the knee-jerk reaction is to just wipe it up. So the whole proposition of these tests is somewhat non or unrealistic to begin with. But getting back to it, yeah, I'm a big fan of Rubio Monocoat out the accelerator because I don't know what's in that shit. I don't know what it is.
Right.
And that accelerator, it speeds up your working time considerably. Like you're on the clock. And
Sure. That's exactly right. There's a new hard wax oil that is very, very, very similar, put out by General Finishes. It's brand new. It's a hard wax oil with an accelerator or hardener, they call it.
yeah.
Yeah, when I use Rubio, I don't use the hardener because, again, not only are you on the clock, what you don't use, you've wasted, right? Because
Yes.
it doesn't, once you put the accelerator in it, whatever you don't use within 15 or 20 minutes, you're fucked.
And
Right?
a lot of
So,
people think that Rubio is just like a stain, for lack of a better term. And it's not,
right.
even in its
No.
natural accelerator format. That shit
Right.
hardens up. It just takes
Right.
more time. It is
Right.
a hard wax oil. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
But
There.
it's not like a can of latex house paint where you can just seal it up and go back to it a year later and it'll be fine, right?
It's got a shelf life.
Yeah, it sure does. But speaking of that, General Finishes, I was looking for it because I wanted to show it on camera. I cannot find it, but I bought a can about a week ago and tried it out on a small project. I have a fair amount of experience with Rubio. This General Finishes is, for all intents and purposes, identical. It is completely the same shit. It is. It's the same. It's the same base. It's the same hardener. It performs the same. It looks the same. It even smells the same. And it's half the price. It's less than half the price.
I went to my local Woodcraft and I snapped a photo of it. Hopefully you can see that.
Oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
For our listener friends out there, this is General Finishes hard wax oil, 1 pint, $46 without tax. So round up and we'll just say $50 with tax, right? When you really break down the price per milliliter, Rubio is at about like 17, 18 cents a milliliter. And the General Finishes is at like 8 or 9. So yeah, it's approximately 50%.
Right.
And if it performs, I'm very curious. If it performs like you say it does, then I won't use Rubio again, even though I'm a huge fan of Rubio.
Right. I mean, I haven't used it on a bigger project, and I've used Rubio on some larger projects, and I'm anxious to try it. I really am anxious to try it on a larger project. And so, I have a couple of things in the works for later this summer, early fall. I'll definitely be giving it a try. So are there any like popular finishes that you don't like? I'll give you one. Odie's oil.
Yeah, I don't like Odie's oil.
I don't like it. Okay, here's why. First of all, it doesn't do shit. Okay, they lie in their advertisement when they say about the coverage. Whatever they say that the coverage is, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
I did a bed, one coat on a bed. It took 2 jars. They claim some ridiculous thing like 1 jar will cover a football field. That's crap. It took $120 worth of Odie's oil, more than the bed costs. It's like, God damn, give me a break. And
Odie's,
plus, it is.
Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
And plus, it doesn't offer that much protection. I mean, it just
it's labor intensive.
It's very labor.
It's labor intensive. Like if you don't have a buffer on hand, or you don't have a sander that is powerful enough to be able to spin a Scotch-Brite pad,
right?
It is incredibly labor intensive to hand apply that stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And what really bothers me about a lot of the finishing video that we see, and I'm not talking about like finish testings, I'm just talking about people who in general are putting finishes on the product for that glory shot, is they just show you it's just wipe on, and you're like, that's a bunch of horseshit. No, it isn't. Like you could put Odie's oil in a microwave for 5 or 10 seconds to thin it down and be able to get that coverage. But as it right out of the jar, that shit is like beeswax consistency. It's super thick.
It is. It is really, really thick, right? And the thing is, the minute you glop it on, you've lost half because it soaks in. It soaks in like a sponge, right? So you've lost half. Yeah. So I'm not a fan of the Odie's oil. I'm not a fan of the guy that runs the company either. But that's another
Yeah, we can't.
That that's a
We're not going to be sponsored by Odie, so screw it. I'll say it. That guy's a prick. Okay, he's not a nice person. So my one instance where I was within earshot of the owner of Odie's Oil was the woodworking supply and lumber yard that I used to frequent back in California. That was my number
right,
one go-to. They were
right.
a retailer and distributor for everything. You can go get Festool, SawStops, Laguna, Rikon. All of the big tool companies were there, and then they had a massive finishing section, and the general manager or the floor manager was getting bitched at by the owner of Odie's Oil over the phone, and he had him on speaker, so
Nice,
the entire showroom could listen to this guy,
nice.
and he was bitching and complaining about how he had competitors in the aisles that he had walrus oil was in there. He had Rubio. I don't think Osmo was at that point, but he had
Wow.
everybody has the massive wall of general finishes, right? And
Yeah.
he was bitching and complaining, was threatening to pull his distributor license or
What?
whatever. And I was like, hey, where's that walrus oil stuff at? Where's that at?
Yeah. Wow. So he was upset that a retailer that carries like everything under the sun was actually deigning to carry a competitor's product.
Yeah, and
Wow.
I believe it was either that time or the next time that I came in. I was like specifically intent on getting Odie's oil, and the shop, the manager was like, "Screw this dude. I'm just pulling all of his product. I've already bought and paid for it. I'm just going to pull it off the shelves, and it'll just sit there and do whatever it does in those stupid little mason jars." So he took the spot that was for Odie's oil, and he ordered another distributor retailer pack, and just the entire thing was walrus oil. And I was like,
Nice.
what is this? I'll grab one of these, the furniture butter thing.
Right. I do
It's
like that
it's
stuff.
it's just spread so much easier. I like the smell
Hmm.
of it better. It smells like lime. I'm a
Right.
so
Yeah.
it
Are
makes you
you
always want to have a beer or something afterwards.
you mentioned Osmo. I'm kind of a fan of Osmo.
I've never used it.
Oh, I do like Osmo, right? You get a very Rubio like finish. It's not exactly like Rubio, but there's no accelerator, right? So they don't offer one. And it's a hard wax oil. It's expensive,
Hmm.
but um the coverage is really good. It's not like Odie's where they claim the coverage is good and it's shitty. So I do like Osmo. I like most of General Finishes stuff. I like their gel stain if I do have to stain. I'm not a big fan of staining, but I do like their gel stain. I like their gel stain with like kind of like with a wipe on poly on top, right? So I actually did one of my earliest videos was where it wasn't a scientific test, but I did a bunch of bandsaw boxes and I finished every one in a different finish, right?
Hmm.
In Rubio, Osmo, Odie's, General Finishes, High Performance, Wipe on Poly, Minwax, and I kind of compared them and contrasted them and stuff. And so, yeah, I do like the gel stain with the Wipe on Poly. That's kind of a thing I discovered by accident, but
I've
it gives kind of
never
a
I've never had really all that great of luck with general finishes. And I don't know if I just got bad product or if I'm a
mm.
dumbass who didn't stir the can enough. I don't know. Like any of their stains, I pass on them. That's why I
Okay,
always stick with Rubio, just because it's all in one.
right.
When you wipe it on, you don't have to add that second layer of protection unless you are looking for like a deeper color or something like that.
Right.
But early on, I used what is it, Armor Seal? Is that what it's called?
Yes, yes, yeah, that's a General
I
Finishes.
used
Yep.
to use that, and I didn't have any problems with that. It was just another one of those things where you just got to build up the coats. I was doing a lot of food grade or food safe things, so I used like their
Hmm.
salad bowl finish, and
Hmm.
again, I didn't have any problems with those. It's just with the way that the market has transitioned to these hard wax oil products, it's just they're damn near idiot proof. You can't fuck them up.
Right, right,
It
right,
just,
right.
it's how committed do you want to be to wearing out your shoulder, rubbing something in, or, do you just want to be real easy with a credit card and it just spread right across super easy?
One little hint I'll give to the listeners: if you use a lot of hard wax oil or wipe on finishes, invest in a little Ryobi
The
car buffer,
buffer.
like
Yeah.
the little 6-inch buffer. It's like $40.
Hmm.
It'll save your arm, man.
Yeah.
Yep, I use that a lot. I have the 10-inch buffer too. The both of them are the 18 volt, and just for small stuff, it's
Yeah. It does,
really,
it does a trick.
yep, it does. It works. Yep, it works, and it's a lot faster. So there's something that I saw, changing gears here. This is something that everyone is going to recognize, and I'm going to show this on the screen. Do you see what this is?
Well, I see the rigid belt sander thing, which
No,
I have, but that is one of, oh, there it is. That's one of them flip top cart dillies. Okay. So you got
right.
the pin and boom,
Yeah,
other tool.
right.
Okay.
So this is Drew Fisher's flip cart, right? So this is a really famous project, right? I mean, literally thousands of woodworkers have built this. I built it a couple of years ago, so I'm very familiar with the design. And the reason it's so popular is a couple of things. It's very, very unique in that the power is all integrated, right? So most flip carts, when you flip them, you have to unplug one tool, plug in the other tool because the cords get
Yeah.
twisted, right? So the way he designed it using gas pipe and threaded flanges,
Hmm.
so that you can run one power cord to both tools, and then you can wire it up internally. It's really super clever, super unique, and like I say, thousands of woodworkers have built this. So I'm on YouTube the other day, and I run across this channel called Yellowhammer Woodcrafts. And he's got right here, if you look, a video. It says build your own flip tool cart, plans available, right? So, and of course, the screen I just showed, Drew sells plans to his too. And of course, Drew is does this full time, right? So
Hmm.
he selling planes is part of how he makes a living. And this guy, Yellowhammer Woodcrafts, he's got a couple of thousand subs. I think this video has like less than 600 views. It was from 7 months ago, so it's not setting the world on fire or anything. So I decided I'm going to watch the video. So I start watching the video, how to build a mobile tool cart with mobile storage. And does this look familiar to you?
You start showing me shop furniture, and it's like, yeah, they all look familiar. Yes, I've seen
Okay,
it
well,
somewhere.
yeah. You know where you've seen this 5 seconds ago when I just showed it to you. Yeah. So this, right, what he built in this video is Drew's cart, but he added drawers to it.
Okay.
So this is a YouTube phenomenon that I call the Portlandia of YouTube, because put a bird on it and now it's mine.
There it is.
To his credit, he doesn't try to hide it, right? He doesn't say, well, I invented this. He very briefly in the video mentions Drew Fisher. He was inspired by his design, right?
Hmm.
So that's fine. But here's the thing. And this is what I want to ask you. And more importantly, I want to ask the listeners this and the viewers, because maybe I'm off base. Maybe I'm making a big deal out of this. It wouldn't be the first time that I've made a big deal out of something that is probably just a molehill. But this bothers me. He's selling plans for this too. Drew's plans are $5. His are $10.
Okay.
This is basically Drew's plan
With the little
with
side cabinet.
with drawers on the side.
Okay.
That he's selling for $10. Now I was curious, so I asked him in a comment. I said, just curious if Drew Fisher reached out to you, because this is basically a modification of his original design. And his response was, it's not just his, it's a combination of a few designs with some of mine. I just use some of his methods and some of my own. And I said, of course, the flip concept isn't new, but the box with the pipe axle and the wiring was his original idea. And all you did was add drawers to it.
Did you get a
In his
response
plan-
back on that?
No.
Was it okay?
So I reached out to Drew to ask. And was really interesting. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up, because this is fucking sad. Okay. I asked Drew, first of all, do you know who this guy is? Have you seen this video? Are you aware that he's basically selling your plans? Is he splitting his profits with you? Does he give you any credit? No. Never heard of the guy. The most interesting question that I asked Drew Fisher was this: are you concerned about things like this when they happen? And this was the answer. No, people are going to do this no matter what. I have had my plans and pictures and projects stolen so many times. I've had scammers use my pictures from my website to make false listings online and take orders from people and just steal their money. And then he says, but in short, if people think they can make a buck, morals and ethics go out the window. I just keep my head facing front, try not to get distracted, and keep on doing what I do. First of all, good for you, Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the bastards get you down, as they say. But I don't know, man. Is this cool? Is this cool or not? Especially the plan selling.
So I think I've mentioned it here. I know I've definitely mentioned it a handful of times on my personal channel. I'm a teacher by trade, right? That is what my career is outside of my woodworking life.
Right.
So I take plagiarism seriously because for me, plagiarism boils down to essentially two things. You're lazy and you're profiteering. That's what you're doing. You're taking somebody else's thing because you're too lazy to create your own, or you're taking somebody else's thing because you know you can't do it as well. So you take theirs and then you try to profit off of it.
Right. So stealing, theft is a strong word, but I don't know what else to call this.
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't have the plan
Homage, borrowing?
I don't have the plan sitting in front of me, and I've never built one of those flip carts. I'm one of the very few woodworkers that hasn't. But I would say this: if you didn't put a bird on it, then it is downright theft. It's outright theft.
Right.
Because you decided to add this little chest of drawers.
Right.
Honestly, I probably wouldn't care. And again, like you said, this guy has a very, very small channel. He's not lighting the world on fire with this newfangled thing.
Right. I've seen other people make videos that are basically copies of other people's stuff. Right. That happens. That's going to happen. I've seen people copy Drew's stuff. I mean, other projects he's done. He does a wavy flag build. I saw a new channel the other day that literally ripped it off almost word for word.
I think we're at a place where it's just everything that we're now producing is just all variation on a theme. It's all been done. There's no new ways that you can take a slab, dump epoxy in it, and it doesn't look like everybody else's fucking epoxy table. The thing is the thing is the thing. And because everybody is attempting to be original, that failed attempt usually means we just revert back to what is tried and true, and we look at somebody else's video like Drew's video and we go, well, shit, that guy got a couple 100,000 views or 1 million views or whatever. Like, why reinvent the wheel and try to be creative and original when I can just mimic what has already been done and has shown to be successful on this particular platform?
Steve Jobs famously said, good artists copy, great artists steal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I accept that, right? Standing on the shoulders of giants is a thing. But selling the plans, that's another step. Because now we're literally talking about impacting someone's livelihood.
Yes.
So if I was selling plants and if I was trying to feed my family and somebody else was selling the same plans, I would be a little upset. I don't know,
I
right?
just think
Is that
it's too damn easy because we live in a digital society now where I could pay that guy $10. I have his plans. I could build the thing for myself to know the workarounds, and then because I have a YouTube channel, I could build the thing again, and then my variation on a theme would be, if I'm going to build this, here are the potential pitfalls you're going to run into.
Sure.
And then I would try to, make a piece of content addressing those. And I have the plans, and all I have to do is go into Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator and delete all of that shit and put my shit right into it with a logo and contact information, blah blah blah. And now I could sell them. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm copping out on it, but I mean, it is a thing.
Man.
It's plagiarism.
And this is what I want to engage the listeners and viewers with. I want to know, please leave in the comments, am I full of shit? Lee is full of shit. Maybe that will be the
start your comment with Lee is full of shit, and then go on to your point. Yes.
Yes, exactly. And if we get enough of those, we may make that the title of this episode.
Or I can put words on a shirt, and you can get that shirt for the low price. No, I'm just kidding. Lee's full of shit. Lee's full of shit. Yeah, I don't think you're off kilter. I don't think you have, you're wrong to be agitated about it. I'm sure if we truly looked through a microscope at a lot of videos that are out there, a lot of people that are doing digital plans, we would find more instances of this. I think it's
I'm sure we would.
It's just way too easy in a digital age to buy a plan, hop on the old interwebs, make a video, try to profit from it in one way or another, and then get away with it.
And I didn't ask Drew this, but I mean, his video only got like 500 views. I mean, if it had gotten 1 million views, I'm sure Drew would probably feel a little differently, right?
Yeah, so that's a problem.
Hey, it is time for video shout outs.
We're going to need to have like a little cutscene or something right there.
I know. Yeah. Video shout outs. Video shout outs.
Who went first last time? Did you go first last time? Or did
I went first last time.
Okay.
So you go first this time.
All right. So my video of the week, of the episode, there we go.
Of the episode.
Comes from Olivier Gomis. Now, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right with my silly American accent. He is a French wood turner, and just released a video about 24 hours before we recorded this one. And I literally saw it about 3 or 4 hours before we started recording. But the title of the video, I believe, is I Created a Gravity Well. And it is a round table that he turns on a lathe. So I am completely enamored by all things lathes. I love the lathe. I wish I had one. I desperately am trying to save my nickels and dimes to get one. If I did have one, I would probably not talk with my family all that much because I'd be so enamored with trying to make cool shit. I love lathe videos. This whole stupid notion of soothing, I find them so soothing. Okay.
Everybody's getting candlesticks in Jered's family for Christmas.
That or a Knoll post or something like that. Yeah, here's your Knoll post. I live in a single story. Doesn't matter. Put it somewhere. But the video itself is 23 minutes long, and he builds, I believe, 3 different versions of this table. So it's kind of cool to see, like, well, iteration number 1, kind of not a table. Iteration number 2, it's still got some kinks. Iteration number 3, I knock it out of the park. And it's really freaking rad.
Right, and he doesn't talk.
No. So this is the wonderful thing about lathe videos. You don't get yahoos like us just blabbing.
Douchey overacting? Come on.
No douchey overacting. No try to influence with, real talk lecturing like I do. No, it's just, it's guy mills wood, guy glues wood, guy puts wood on lathe, guy turns wood, and then all of a sudden you have a really cool thing. And the thing that I love about lathe videos like this is when you have this massive lathe that's, got like 40 inches or more of capacity, and you're swinging this thing. I don't know how big this thing is, maybe 2 feet across. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're waiting for that NASCAR wreck or that wreck at Le Mans, seeing how it's French. You are waiting for it to happen, and it didn't, which is great. But you have that buildup, that anticipation with these turning type videos, and it's super rad. Like I said, he's a big channel. I think the when I watched it had already had 20,000 views or something like this. So the guy has just got million plus view counts. He does super rad stuff and is very much deserving of those high view counts. And I love it. I love his about on his page. I'm a 20-something-year-old French guy that loves to make stuff out of wood. How good is that? You have sold me, sir. There it is. So there's my video
Simple and to the point.
There's my video of the episode. Olivier Gomis.
Making a gravity well.
Yes.
We'll link that in the description. Okay, so mine is this kid I discovered. I'm making it sound like I discovered him. Like, I'm his agent.
I signed him, right? He's gonna go big.
I signed him. Yeah. He's gonna be the next big thing.
Yeah.
So his name is Miles. The channel is called Make with Miles. When you get to be a certain age, everybody looks 15. So he looks about 15. When you're pushing the big 6-0, you just you can't.
You're all a bunch of kids. Get off my lawn, damn it.
Get off my lawn. How old are you? 45. Oh, okay. You look 15 to me. So anyway, like, I guess from what I understand, he was like a kind of a big thing on TikTok, right? Like all the kids are these days.
Right.
He's brought his game over to YouTube. He's made the transition from short to long form, which, first of all, I don't know if people realize this, very, very tough to do.
Short form content is fucking hard.
Right. But it's even harder once you've made a reputation as a short form guy.
Yeah.
To make the leap over. I've seen guys try to do it and crash and burn because they don't get the vibe, or they don't get the process, right? Making long form video content is more than just this,
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. That it isn't. And there are guys that never figure that out. Right. You know what I mean? There are guys that never figure it out. I'm talking about in terms of like shorts guys, reels guys,
It's hard.
Yeah. It is hard. So he's done that. I mean, all of his videos are great, but the one I really am going to spotlight here is called Building a Beautiful Guitar Amp Speaker Cabinet with Kamiko and kerf bending. So he uses Kamiko for the speaker grill, and he uses kerf bending for the cabinet part. The video has about close to 317. I checked today, 317,000 views. It should have 1 million. It's awesome. He literally takes a cheap, shitty guitar amp that probably costs a few $100, and he makes something that literally you could sell for $3-4 grand. Easy. And all he would need is for some big time guitar player to take one of his amps or one of his designs and talk about it on Instagram for 30 seconds, and this kid's life would fucking change. But this thing is beautiful, and just the process of him building it is so nice. I'll link it in the description. Check it out. It's worth a watch. Make with Miles. Just a kid. Let's encourage Miles. Although
I don't think he needs our encouragement, but you get what we're saying.
He has 150,000 subs. I mean, I don't know if he needs our encouragement. He's probably going to keep going. I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, hey, man, we survived without actually passing out. It is so fucking hot in here.
Right.
It is hotter than a $2 whore, as they say here in Texas. What do you think? How do you think it went?
Hey, episode
Besides
3.
the technical,
Well,
yeah,
besides the
besides
technical difficulties.
yeah, we had a few technical difficulties, but we're gonna make that. We're gonna edit it so slick you won't even know.
There you go. Or we're just going to
Yeah.
continually make it a thing, and that's our shtick.
We gotta come up with a shtick.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we have to have a shtick.
May I suggest douchey overacting? I think that could work.
I will practice. Yes.
Speaking of douchey overacting, I have another douchey overactor in the family. And okay, I just want to say this one thing. This is the power of YouTube thumbnails. If you don't think thumbnails are a thing.
I saw you changed it.
Yes, I did.
I saw you changed it.
So I had my own picture in the thumbnail of my last video. You can go look at it. It kind of took off pretty fast, and then it just overnight just fucking died. So I'm like, so all you can't change the video once you upload it, right? So all you can do is change the title and the thumbnail. So we went out to breakfast this morning, my wife and I, and she's in the video.
She kills it, by the way. She crushes it in the video. Hilarious.
Yeah, you gotta.
Cheers.
Yeah, you gotta check her out. You gotta check her out. So yeah, she is a natural ham, as we say. So she was wearing this T-shirt that said "Sunglasses and Bail Money," which is a song put out by a band called Marijuana Death Squad. And I said, I gotta take a picture of you holding this TSO square with that shirt and a pair of sunglasses, and that's gonna be the new thumbnail. And by God, if it didn't work, thumbnails for the win.
Yep. The hardest part of making videos isn't making the video; it's that goddamn thumbnail.
Oh, I do this. I don't know if you do this. The thumbnail is the very, very first thing I always do before I write the script. Before I shoot 1 second of footage, that's the first thing I always do.
I know we're extending the episode, but this is valuable information. Everybody tells you to do the thumbnail last, and I'm exactly like you. I do it first because it sets a tone for the entire thing. That's how I feel. Like if I'm gonna, there's my Rubio Monaco, then this is what the video is about. It's not about me. If I'm talking about health hazards or whatever, or you're doing your miter saw thing,
right, exactly.
It sets the tone for the video. Yeah, do the thumbnail first.
Yep. That's for you aspiring YouTubers. That is a little hint for you. Okay, so they got extra innings, extra bonus content here at the end.
Hey.
If you listen to the end or watch till the end, you lucked out. All right.
Okay,
very
buddy.
good, sir.
All righty, episode 3 done.
Boom. All right. Bye-bye.
Adios.